In this video, I'm going to go over why a frightening amount of people lose money in the Forex market and how I saved a trader from blowing 50% of his account on one trade. Alright guys, welcome to the video. I wanted to do this video as a bit of a follow-up from the video I put out earlier on in the week. I mentioned that there was a trader in my live room, new to trading. He'd come into the live room and he was in a live trade and he had risked, he actually had 50% of his account at risk. So what I wanted to do in this video is share with you the actual conversation that took place, show you the actual live room footage from that conversation, because since that video I've got a lot of messages from people. I've got people saying thanks, you know, I didn't realize I was doing that, and people don't really understand or underappreciate the consequences of having that much at risk on a trade, and it really hit home for some people. So I thought if I put this out, this will give value to some of you guys. And not only that, it will show you that my approach to helping people learn to trade is not in the interest of just, you know, making them trade. It's in the interest of not blowing your money and understanding all of the principles behind trading so that then you can go on and have success. And in this video, you're going to see how I really talk him around his trade decision and how he ends up actually coming out of the trade. He takes a loss, he cuts the trade, and he actually withdraws his money from his account because he realizes that he's not ready yet. And that's exactly what we want. We want to get people. We don't want people to risk their money. We don't want people blowing their money. We want people to have the absolute best chance of getting out the gate and going on to have success. And that's what we're here to do. We want to help those sorts of people all the way. So check out the video. I'm sure it will hit home. Let me know what you think below, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, we're going to take a look at the pound dollar now. Okay. Same thing we've been doing on all of the other pairs. We've been through the Aussie pairs, Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar. And now we're going to look at the pound dollar, okay, which we're going to go through the same process. Dean says, I have a sell order in now for pound dollar. Would you do a thing on the pound dollar, mate? Give some advice. Would like to know a thing. Sorry. 1.2844 was my entry. So 1.24. Oh, 2844 was my entry. Okay, so you entered right here. You entered right here. What was your reason for entry, Dean? What was your reason? Stop loss is at 131.34. So you entered here, 131.34. I take it you use you've got risk management in place. What's the risk? What's the size of the risk on your trade? Because that's a big old, what is that? Let's just see. Roughly 290 pips. So what's the risk in terms of a percentage on your account? Because this is obviously a massive risk. Now, if you're just trading, if you're working your position size out to risk 1% of your account, say, well, then that's not too bad. Okay, it means that you'd probably be in the trade for a long time to only gain 1%. Okay, but if you're doing a 1-to-1, which I assume you're doing if your risk is this much, if your risk is this much, you at least want a 1-to-1, because I assume your target's down here somewhere. It's not going to be up here. It's going to be down here somewhere. Maybe even down here. So it might be a better reward to risk ratio than a 1-to-1. If you're calculating your position size based on a percent of your account, say it's 1%, this is going to be 1%, and then this is going to be 1%, or just over 1% profit. So if we push down, you are going to bank 1% on your profit and loss. Okay. What was your reason for entry? Okay. How did you come to the conclusion or the decision that you wanted to look to get short and this is likely to go short? What's the thought process? I'm just gonna ask you. You don't have to answer. You know, you can just tell me to go away. But makes for good conversation, and it's useful and beneficial to traders that are new, particularly. Take profit is 24,181. 24,181. Okay, so nice take profit. Okay, so you got entries here, which I'll color purple. Stop loss here, which I'll color red. And targets here, one target, one in out. Okay. And you're taking targets here at this level. So now, what was the reason for entry? You know, what was the reason for entry? Check your Insta. I thought I'd seen a double top, mate. And to tell you the truth, I'm not going to sugarcoat myself, but I thought I knew what I was doing. And I've quickly realised I don't know. So have you come out of the trade? Tell me this. Are you trading live? Is this a live account you're trading? If you're not sure, get out of the trade. Yeah, look, this is this is a safe house, okay? If you're in this live room, these walls of this room that we're in, we can tell each other anything here, right? We're here to help each other. That is it. There's no one's judging. No one's being horrible. No one's got any agenda. Whatever we say in here stays in here. And we want to put our cards on the table. We want to put our cards on the table. So, yes, a small deposit. Well, if you're trading a small deposit, how are you working out your risk then? How are you working out your... Okay, tell me this. What position size are you trading? I went into the trade with confidence. I went into before joining Tier 1. Yeah, there is no competition in here. There is no competition. Dean says near 50%. So this risk here, you are risking 50% of your account. Am I right? So if you get stopped out, you will lose 50% of your account. Are you okay with that? Do you know how much you've got to make back if you lose 50%? 100%. Do you know the quickest time that I've made back 100% on my account? Just under 2 years. And that's without withdrawals. So if you lose 50% of your account, you've set yourself back at least 2 years. You've just given yourself a massive time disadvantage. Because you've now got to make back 100% to get back to break even. Make sense? You've got to double your account. Because you've just lost half of it. Yeah. And after 2 years minimum, you'll be back to where you started. Then you've got to start making profits again. Now let me tell you, if you're in this situation and you've just risked 50% of your account on this one trade, you're not trading, you're hoping that you hit big time. That's the only thing. You are praying that you hit a winning run. So that isn't trading, what that is it's gambling. When you don't know the probability and you don't know the story that you're in, you're going to come unstuck. And the reason you're going to come unstuck is because the smart money do know the probabilities. You're going to lose to everyone who's got a plan, everyone who's consistent. So going back to your question, when you say, will you do your analysis on pound? Because I understand my plan and I understand how to read price, I might think that the price action is going to fall. I actually think that we could see a decline on the pound and the euro. Does it mean I can short it? No. I can only short it when my rules allow me to short it. And let me just tell you what I see at the moment. I see that we've had this decline, right? We've pushed down, and then we failed to put in a new low. And not only did we do that, we had this big rejection candle right here. Okay, then we continued up. We continued to break above these moving averages. And as we did that, we put in this candle here, which was a really strong indication that we would see a push up. Okay, now immediately after that, what are these? These are what I call the fake breaks, right? The fake breakouts where we see the big push up, immediate big push down, which indicates that we could see a push down. But because we've got this and this, we're in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to get short or long. What I want to do, I don't want to have to risk 50% of my account, right? What I want to do is I want to wait for the high probability trade. When that presents itself, and I'm not in a rush to take that. I trade many other pairs. There's plenty of opportunities on other pairs. But I want to wait for the high probability trade, then I want to be patient, and if that presents itself, then I can execute if my rules are met, and I know that I have a high probability of being right, and I'm going to win more when I'm right than I lose when I'm wrong. And I'm only ever risking maximum, absolute maximum 1%. Now you're risking 50%. That is not a trade, that is a gamble. You might as well just go down the bookies and put something on a horse. So if you've just got that one thing from this thing, I hope that you've really realised, because what I don't want you to do is blow money. What I want you to do is understand how to trade and learn how to trade, then make a load of money. Please bear in mind that I lost about 40 grand. That is not laughing matter. Like that is, that's devastating. But that's what makes this community different. Everyone's helping. You can see all the messages here. Everyone's trying to help. Intentions, your best intentions are everyone's at heart. So hopefully you got a little lesson from that. My advice to you would be close the trade right now. Because if you don't close the trade right now, you're still hoping that it will push down. You're in a desperation phase and you should not be trading in a desperate state of mind. Yeah, Dean just says he's closed the trade. That's the best thing you can do. As I say, you might have lost a little bit of money. That doesn't matter. Closing the trade's much more, is going to have a much more lasting impact in your trading development. It's discipline. You've closed off the trade. You've taken a loss. You've taken it on the chin. You're much more likely to not make that mistake again. And just the progress from closing that trade out, is far greater than you'll appreciate initially. And the problem is he doesn't have a tested plan. He doesn't know the probability of this playing out. Therefore, he won't have the psychological stability or strength to stay in the trade. What will happen is it will start to push in his favour. And what will happen is as soon as it pushes down in favour, he'll take profits. Okay, but every time it pushes against him, he's going to take bigger losses because he'll keep moving his stop loss going, oh, it's going to turn around in a minute. And what happens is over a period of time, you end up taking this much loss as opposed to this much win because you're happy to make back some profits. So you cut the losses early and you only have to do this 3 or 4 times or 3 times and your account's gone. Twice, once. So it's not the fact that the area was that, and this is where it comes down to you're trading based on feelings and emotions and what you think is going to happen. What you think is going to happen, the market does not care what you think. So Matt has just said, just a note on taking losses on the chin. A dear friend of mine was a top-notch trader at a large American bank in the 1980s. He made a fortune trading professionally there. He said that the best lesson he ever learned was when he started out as a trainee at an old established British merchant bank. He was told that far more important than hitting a big trade was to know when to cut a trade that was running away from you. Now, this was days before widely available candlestick charts, and setting stops and targets was only very vague discipline. My long-winded point is that the way we little people should trade is the way we've learned inside this community. For me, the golden rule is before you enter any trade, know where your entry, stops and targets are going to be. Jason and Nikhil say this almost every day. This means that so long as you follow your fully tested strategy, you will not go broke. And that is what a trading plan is. It's a tangible set of rules that's been tested that say, if I just stick to this plan, I know that I'm not going to go broke and I'm going to come out with a positive return on investment over time. And that's it. It doesn't mean every trade's going to be a winner. It doesn't mean every week's going to be a winner. It doesn't mean every month's going to be a winner. But you know that if you stick to those rules, that over time you have a statistical advantage, and you're going to get a return on investment over time. All right, so you can see that he actually came out of the trade. He's messaged me since. He sent me a mail saying thank you. You can see that he sent me this message here saying, you know, I not only did you save my account, I've actually withdrew all my money. And let me just tell you, that's a massive turning point for someone who can actually cut a loss and cut a trade like that, and then realize that they are, you know, they don't actually know what they're doing, and they need to take a bit more time out to learn. That's a massive turning point, because if I hadn't intervened, and there's so many people in this position, who knows where they'll end up. They could end up blowing their account, putting their finances at risk, their house at risk. They could end up having relationship problems, losing their partners. And, you know, you never know how that might spiral out of control as people go down the wrong path. So hopefully you can see, hopefully you got value from that. Hopefully you can see that we're here in the live room and in my community to help traders. Our only focus is to help the customer and get results for the customer. We don't, you know, we don't focus on us and our gain. We focus on getting results. And if we can get results for the customers, then they tell others, and they and then we grow that way. So I'd rather grow that way than sending people up the garden path or giving them false hope. That's just not the way to do it, in my own opinions. So anyway, if you got value from the video, if you liked it, if you know someone who's dabbling in trading, please share it with them. Give it a thumbs up. Go and share the video, and leave your comments below on what you thought about the video. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.